Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm just going to be doing some gardening and it's going to be really fun. I have my mom who is going to be helping me garden today, and basically what we're going to be doing is taking out all of the dirt and leaves around our trees and my front entrance garden area, and then we're going to level it, lay some mulch, and then plant some flowers that should be grown by spring. So I'm gonna start making these videos. It's gonna be kind of like a GWM, garden with me. So that's gonna be my abbreviation from now on. So if you want tips on gardening, wanna watch me build my garden with my mom, or just feel like watching gardening videos, then stay tuned so you can see how we are planting the garden at my house. Let's get started. Okay, so this is the outside of my house. As you guys can see, we have the entryway garden, and that's what we're going to be working on today because it is a mess and we've gotten complaints from the neighbors. So we decided we would be working on that and our tree. Alright, so we started by going shopping at Lowe's, and we just went and we were looking at different plants we wanted. So we got this dragon's breath plant, and along with that we got some mulch, some edgers for the garden, and just a couple of other things we needed, like a little watering can. We also just got a couple of pots, just plastic pots, to put our shrubs in because we're going to be moving the shrubs from the garden. We're going to be moving the shrubs into these pots, and I also was just looking around at different flowers to decorate my house with, so I got this cute little Hawaiian tropical flower. Alright, so all together what you'll need is a shovel, a trowel, cultivator, plastic bags, broom, gloves, flower bulbs, mulch, rake, edgers, and soil. Also make sure to stay hydrated, make sure you have some water and some Gatorade, and also put on sunblock because you will get burnt in the sun. My mom did, and I got a nice tan. Okay, so to start, we just went around and I picked up all of the little ornaments and things around the garden and cleaned it up so that we could get started leveling it and shoveling out the grass. After you have cleared out the grass and stuff, you can get an idea of how it will be looking. In Georgia, we have this like red clay underneath the surface of grass, and so once you start digging up the grass and dirt, it's clay, and it's super annoying if you have dogs because they love digging. Okay, so next we start to dig out the shrubs and kind of just work your way around the shrub in a circle, trying not to damage the roots. And a good basis for where you should start digging at is to find the drip line when you water the shrubs where it drips, and then start your circle there so that you do not damage the roots and you can maintain your shrub's health. Be sure to cut out the drip line so you don't damage your shrub's roots. But anyway, we went around and we did that for each of the shrubs. Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier. Make sure you get some shrub soil especially made for the shrubs. We use that in our pots. And so that's what we're using in the pots for the shrubs. So this is the mess that it is right now. While my mom works on the shrubs, I'm gonna get started on putting potting soil into the shrub pots. Those shrubs are gonna go into the pots. And into these holes, which I was watering earlier. Alright, and you want a good amount. You don't want too much to where the shrub can't sit comfortably in the pot, but you do want enough that you are giving the shrub somewhere to rest and lay. And of course, when you put the shrub in, you can add more soil around to make sure it's evened out and that the roots aren't showing and poking out of the soil. We also added some shrub soil to the big holes we dug on the side of the house for the other shrubs we had. The same as I said before, just make sure you put enough in there for the shrub to rest in and sit comfortably on, and also you can just fill around if you don't put enough. You don't want your shrub to dry out or not make a successful transplant. So yeah. By the way, shrubs are very heavy, so take your time so that you don't damage them. Make sure you're lifting from the knees and not the back. I didn't put enough soil in the first pot, and so I just added a little bit more to make sure I had enough on each side, so when the shrub sat in, it would be completely surrounded on all sides evenly. Okay, when you're finished, it should be nice, even, with the roots covered. And we have potted shrubs. Okay, so the implant can be somewhat hard if you don't make your holes big enough, and we had a slight issue with the size of the holes. We needed them to be a little bit wider, but ultimately they fit. And so it was a tight fit, but they fit, and we kind of surrounded the top of the shrub with some soil as well to help set it. And now this is how the garden is looking without the shrubs in it, and it's looking pretty empty and desolate. So at this point, what you're going to want to do is rake the soil evenly over. We decided to take the pines and the grass, well, not the grass that we pulled, but the pine and some of the clay that we dug out, and use that to help level and even out where the holes were. We also laid a little bit of garden soil out too across the garden where the holes were to help fill it in. You can then rake that even as well. So at this point, your garden's going to be looking a little patchy, but that's okay. It's supposed to look like that. And you can kind of see where we used the soil to fill in the holes and where we pushed the pines back onto the clay and soil and mixed it together to kind of give it a leveled, even feel. Also, I had to backtrack, but before you do transplant or move your shrubs, you should make sure to water them the night before, and water them before and after you do move them. It helps loosen the soil, and it also is just healthy for the plants. You want to make sure you're watering them daily anyways. And now we're just also watering the shrubs that we just transplanted to make sure that they have enough water and that they survive the move. That's all I have for this video. I had to break it up into 2 parts because it was running a bit long, so it is to be continued. Check out part 2 for the planting and final looks of the garden.